TitleMatchNetwork.com.
What are your memories of the chicken suit match with Pillman?
Brian, I'm going to tell you one story here, and it's a good one. When we went out for several weeks before I broke up the team, the Hollywood Blondes, Steve and Brian. I would go out after every match, and I would push Brian out of the way, go straight to Steve and say, "Whoa, boy, you light up this house tonight, don't you?" And I'd start my stuff with him, and Brian would be punching me in the back going, "How about me?" And I'd just, "Get back, son, get back. I'm talking to Steve here," and I'm courting Steve. I'm paying no attention to Brian. And we're building up to this deal where it's all going to come to a head. Columbus, Georgia on the TV, and we go down there. And so I tell Brian, I got to skip. I said, "Here's what I'm going to do." I said, "I'm going to bash in, same old deal, shove you out of the way. Hey, Colonel, how about me? Back boy, I'm talking to the man here. Do my deal, and I'm going to lay down this story that Steve, I need to buy you. I need to have you. I want you in my stable. I want all this stuff." Brian said, "Me? How about me? How about me?" And finally, first time I ever speak to Brian, I say, "All right, boy, how about you?" I say, "Now it's time you and me have a talk." And I have to talk to Brian about this skit that I'm going to give him, this thing I'm going to give him. And I have to tell him that, "Brian, now, you can't hit me until I give you a line." And Brian's the type of guy, I'm going to say 3 lines to him, he's going to hit me because they're angry toward him and they're going to belittle him. He's not going to let this go down. And so, because he's a serious guy, he's very serious. So I say, I'd learned it from the chicken match. I had learned it from all this stuff. I had learned the way Brian was. And a tough guy knocked the living hell out of me, man. I mean, a chicken match was hard.
Right.
I went back in the back. Eric Bischoff came around in the back, and I'm bleeding down my arms and chest from him chops. Blood's running out of my body, and I'm winded because I'm gassed. I'm an old fart out there and trying to wrestle in the ring, and he's worried that I'm in trouble. I said, "No, I'm not. I'm just beat up a little, but I ain't hurting." One of them type of deals. But anyway, I'm gonna turn around to Brian, and boy, and I say, "Brian, but finally, I'm gonna tell you about you." I say, "Now, you go down to the races, son." And I said, "You got your slow running horse comes in last, and you got your $1 million racehorse Secretariat, and just wins all the races." I said, "He just every time you run him, he's a winner." And I said, now you need to understand that Steve is that Secretariat over here." And I said, you take a quality guy like him, a Secretariat, and you put him out there in the field, and I said, and holes out there in the field, and I said, he's a quality guy. He'll step in them holes. He'll break his leg if he's not careful, and you got to be careful with a guy like him. But I said, in your case, I said, how you want to step in one of them holes, I said, and break your leg, I said, then, I said, people take an animal like that out and shoot him. But I said, I don't believe I'd waste a bullet on you. I'd just take you out behind the bar and knock you in the head with a damn hammer. I said, "Now don't stop me till that line. I'll take you out the thing and knock you in the head with a hammer." I had a few more things I was going to say then, but that was the closing line.
Right.
And Brian's like this. I'm looking at his face, it's real. It's real. To him, it's real. I'm belittling him so bad. And I say, "You're just a dadgum jackass running around the thing." I said, "Jackass steps in a hole. Don't waste a bullet. Knock him in the head with a damn hammer." Oh, and brother, bam! Oh my gosh. My head's off my shoulders, brother. I'm on the floor and I'm going. And then Steve, with the same zest that he hit me, tears into him. And I'm laying there on that floor, man, and I watch Brian take a hell of a beating. And I go, "Man, this is a winner."
Money.
This is fabulous, man. Like nothing I ever saw. That's the way Brian was. Brian said, "Listen, chicken match, I'm going to beat the hell out of you, Colonel." I said, "I'm a manager. you're Flyin Brian Pillman. I expect nothing less. And that's what I got. Brian was a serious young man, great guy, but doggone it, man, he would kick your butt. He felt like, I think Brian felt like he was a little smaller and he needed to make up for it. And boy, when he messed with me, he made up for it. And, I took my lickings, man, kept on ticking.
We got about 5 minutes left. I want to talk. What are your memories of your first match?
My first match. I got out of high school, 1969, and I graduated in May, and about, I guess, the 1st of July, it was in the 1st of June there, Dad, we'd been working out with Corsica Gene, Corsica Joe, they were real good trainers at that time, and so Dad had my brother and I working out with them. And I'd wrestled in high school, and also I had some of the idea of the amateur styles in wrestling and what to do and all, how to take care of myself. Dad had taught us about the hooking and all, and so I thought, well, I'm probably going to be training a couple of years, and then I'll get a shot going in the ring and all. Well, I just come home from my graduation and all, and Dad's there. He says, congratulations, graduated and all. I said, hey, he said, by the way, July the 5th here, you only got a month or so. You're going to have your first wrestling match. I'm taking you to Tennessee. We lived down in Georgia and Atlanta at that time. And Dad was the booker and owned Atlanta with Ray Gunkel. He didn't want to start us out there. He wanted to take us up there to Grandpa's place up there in Tennessee. And I went up and I did 5 shows, all just small towns like Dyersburg and Blytheville, Arkansas, and Jackson, Tennessee, and Union City, Tennessee, and then finished up my 5-day loop with Memphis. That was the big show. That was the big deal. And I remember the first match, professional match that I ever had, and I was in great shape. And I guess it was Union City, Tennessee, and I went in to wrestle this guy. He's 300 pounds. And the promoter was Leonard Feelings, and he came in the dressing room, and he don't know it's my first match. Nobody's told him. And so he's saying, well, this guy's a big old boy, but he said he's a little bit green. You might have to kind of carry him a little bit. And Dad got a real kick out of it because I told the promoter there, I said, I'll take care of him. Dad was like, yeah, you're going to take care of him. You never had a professional match in all your life. We didn't tell old Leonard that, so he never knew that. And I remember going out, and man, I was in the best doggone shape anybody could ever be in, but I had not wrestled in front of a crowd like that, and had the responsibility of working a match, making it all work, without just going out and stuffing it up this guy, which would have been much, much easier. But instead, I had to go out there and cooperate, wrestle, and in doing that and being so nervous about it, what I remember the most about the first match I had is blowing up past running a 6-mile marathon. I mean, and I wrestled in school, and I was, I ran in shape. I mean, I was just ripped. And here's this 300-pound guy, just blows me up like nobody's business. And so, I go back in the dressing room, and Dad's in there, and he said, hey, kid, he said, you forgot to breathe, didn't you? That's what I remember. So I remember going out the second night in Dyersburg, Tennessee, and the thing that I'm remembering, don't walk out there to the ring and get all nervous about what you're doing and wind up just huffing and puffing before they even ring the bell. Because you done worked yourself up into a frenzy and you're unable to relax. And then if you don't relax, you're going to forget to breathe. And if you forget to breathe, you're going to blow up so bad. And then when it's time to need to gas a little bit, you're not going to have the gas there. So in that 5 days, that's the things that we worked on more than anything, was getting my breathing down and getting me to relax a little bit. And by the way, my brother Ron, he wrestled for 25 years and never overcame it. Never overcame it. Before the match, he's always, even his opponent, be sitting over here in the dressing room, and my brother's pouncing. He's up and he's down and he's up and he's down, and he's ringing, and he's tagging, and his opponent's sitting over there, and he's going, and I'm watching him too, and I'm looking at his opponent, and I'm going, yeah, he's crazy. So, you know, I learned that in those 5 days. My brother was there with me, and he kind of started it, you know, kind of the same time I did, and he had a tougher time with getting that breathing down, being able to relax, because Dad had always taught us to be so doggone serious about everything. So
You guys pretty much always tried to stick together, you and Ron?
I work with Ron a lot because Ron had a college education and a business education, and so Ron was always on a promotional edge of things, and he was always into the promoting, the booking, and more so than the wrestling. And he preferred that because then he didn't have to deal with all that stress of what he's going to do in the match and how things are going to go and everything. Yeah, so yeah. What was your question?
I was just asking if you and Ron tried to stick together a lot.
Earlier. Yeah, and we did. And you know, as young guys in the business, I have to say I felt real confident and safe along with my brother because I knew, you know, that particular time as young kids, my brother's 2 years older than me, and he could always beat me. You know, we wrestle in the ring, and my brother always get the upper hand. And as a, you know, in a circumstance where you got to take care of yourself, and things get a little brutal and everything, I had total confidence that my brother could handle that situation. And so, as young guys, in the time that we got into business, I mean, you had to have a little bit of respect, and you kind of had to take care of yourself, and you know, guys had to like you. If they didn't like you, then they're not going to give you nothing in the ring. And if you're wrestling a guy, he's not going to give you nothing in the ring, then it's your place to go ahead and take it. And so, you know, that's where all that training comes in. My brother and I, we kind of stood side by side. Not only my brother, Jimmy Golden, I know that's not the question, but family, and especially a strong, tough side of your family standing there beside you in the ring gave you a confidence to be able to go and do these things you want to do. You say, this guy don't want to give me that. Well, I've wrestled and I know how to take it. And so, you know, you take it, then maybe he's not going to be very happy about that. And then one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing. And it's good to have somebody there with you that can back you up on that.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.